My name is Paul Gallagher. I'm currently a PhD student here at Queen's in the George Mitchell Institute, studying, researching into a local victims group, the Wave Injured Group, who've been campaigning for a pension for this past 10 years. I think reconciliation means it's about building for the future rather than trying to build on what you've already got. I think it comes down for me to a personal level first. I think you need to sort of reconcile things with yourself first rather than with other people. You need to reconcile some of the problems that you have, especially growing up in a place like this. You know what I mean? We've been subjected to sectarianism for centuries, so I think it's when you're born into a place like this, especially at certain times like in the Troubles, do you know what I mean, you're going to feel the aftermath of that. That's going to come out within you no matter how hard you try. So I think it's first about coming to terms with things that happen to you. So take from my own example. I was injured during the conflict. Back in 1984, I was injured in a shooting at my home, and from that there was a lot of self-blame and self-guilt that comes with trauma, and you sort of blame yourself for what happened to you, and from that can be anger at the people who done it, and that's understandable, but that sort of stuff's only going to eat away at you and make you angry and affect your family and the people around you. So I think it's about first coming to terms with that, and that's a long process. And then for me it was about moving on then to getting involved with peace building and with the other community, getting involved in the local interface group and meeting people from the other community. So for me it's all about doing small things but on a personal level, and just trying to make a difference and trying to go to people with an open hand, especially people who have been seriously affected by the conflict. I think they usually have something to say that can be profound and give a great voice. So for me that's what reconciliation is about. It's about building on your own resources and giving people the opportunity to come and listen. I suppose if I look back to one example, which would be my involvement in the Wave Injured Group, we produced a book back in 2009, 2010 called Injured on That Day, and that was an account of all the members of the group. So there was about 30 people who gave an account of how they were injured in a certain day. That was about giving voice to those victims who had felt forgotten and excluded from all the other processes that were going on at the time. But looking back, it also gave them a chance to maybe talk about their story for the first time in a focused way. And so for some people it was the very first time they'd maybe even spoken about it. And remember, back for me it was sort of gut wrenching, and the hairs in the back of your neck were standing up when you were going through the events of that day. But after that it became sort of, you look back and say it was very therapeutic. And some people have spoken about sort of writing it all away, writing the trauma away. And for me that was the part of it. And since then I've been able to tell that story, not just for the sake of telling it, but we've had the opportunity to go into schools, to go into universities, to use the story in a positive way, to take a horrible, horrific event and to make sense of it, but to give it back to other young people, especially to learn about the horror of the conflict here and how it affected people, for them to actually get something out of it. So it's about a bit of give and take. So the young people get something from us, we get something from them by them listening to us, and it gives us the confidence then to keep doing that and to keep using such a traumatic event for good and to get something positive out of what happened to us. So that just helps to build the confidence in people to be able to tell that story and to be useful to other people, to get the main point across is that we don't want this to happen ever again. That's the main point.